Morning all. Today we have a mobility flow session focused on the whole body. So we're just going to get straight into it. We're going to start off in a child's pose. So bring yourselves down here. Just relax down back on those heels with your arms in front. And just relaxing here. Now a lot of these movements we may hold for a long period of time, but don't worry if you can't see me at all times in those positions. I will let you know when to move on to the next one. So just chilling out in the position we've set until I say otherwise, and just relax through this. We're going to come forward into a cobra stretch, so arms locked out, chest up high, arching that back, and just hold here. And then we'll sink back into that child's pose, but this time hands further in front. Keep the back arched and we're driving the chest down, stretching out those shoulders like so. Back into that cobra stretch. And this time when we sink back, we're going into a downward dog. So we're going onto our feet, we're lifting the bum up. You can bend the legs if you need to, and creating that flat back position here. And hold here, stretching out those shoulders again. Bring it back into a cobra stretch. We're going to look over one shoulder. And then look over the other shoulder. And then we're going to sink it back once more into that downward dog. Keep holding. And then this time, as we come forward, we're coming into a press up position and bringing one leg up to the side like so. It doesn't have to be as high, as close to your hand as mine is. We're bringing it up to the side and making sure the foot's flat. Now if you need to, you can relax this leg down, so the knee's down. Otherwise we're holding a stretch here. Focus on the hips, driving downwards towards the floor, feeling that stretch there. Now what we're going to do is place that knee down if you haven't got it down already, and we're going to rock backwards, keeping this heel down into that hamstring stretch there, feeling the stretch here, like so. Obviously relax out of any of these positions if they're too comfortable at any point, but try and stay in them as long as you can and try and get the most out of the stretch. Our hands are staying forward, we're leaning into this one still. Then we're going to rock back forward into that strider stretch. We're going to lift up the inside arm, so the one closest to the knee, and reach upwards. And then we're going to bring it back down, straight back into that hamstring stretch. Going forward again. This time this one's a bit trickier, so you can keep that knee down. We're going to take the other arm up. So this arm stays nice and close to this knee, and this arm goes up and reaches up here. It's a big stretch of the torso. It is hard for balance too. So hold that there. And then bring it back down. We're going to sink back that hamstring stretch one more time. I'm going to come forwards this time, keeping this knee down. I'm just going to lift the arms up into the air. Feel that stretch on the hip flexor as these arms are in the air like so. And just hold here. Bring your hands back down. We're going to go back into that press-up position to allow us to come onto the other side. And we're just going to hold this strider stretch on this side. And then when you're ready, we're going to go back into the hamstring stretch on this side too. And then rock it forwards. So inside arm up first. And then back down into that hamstring stretch. Forwards into the strider, and this time that outside arm goes up. Bring it back down, back into that hamstring stretch. Final time. Forward for the final time, so remember keeping that knee down, both hands come up and reach for the ceiling into that big strider stretch. Bring both hands down. Now I'm going to swivel so you can see better. And we're going to bring other leg up to the side like so. I'm going to be in this position here where we're hanging down with our feet just about wider than shoulder width. You're going to bring your knees, you're going to bring your elbows to your knees, sorry. What you're going to do is keep one elbow against knee as you reach up like so. So I show you from the side as well. You're hanging down here in like a deadlift position almost, but a relaxed deadlift position, you reach up. And then you bring that elbow down to the knee and the other arm goes up. Just going to alternate a few times here. Keep it going. One more on each side, nice and relaxed, feeling that twist in the back. going to do, we're going to grab our feet. So big hold of the feet, make sure those feet are further shoulder width apart. You're going to sit down as low as you can into a squat. Now again, it doesn't have to be as low as this. We're looking to keep hold of the feet. You can see my arms are on the insides, and we're going to try and sink that bum nice and low. And then we're going to do very similar things. So we're going to grab the opposite ankle and reach up in this squat position. Really good way to improve your squat depth. Trying to keep that chest up nice and high, or as high as you can. Don't worry too much about it, but we're grabbing that ankle and using it to help us lift this arm nice and high. At any point you can come out of this squat if it's too uncomfortable, because it does get sore in the quads, but we're going to go one more on each side. And you can bring it up. We're going to bring our feet nice and close this time and continue this hang here. What we're going to do, we're going to walk our hands around to one side and then walk them around the other side. And back to the other side again. I'm just going to shuffle around so you get better look. Walking around to one side and then round to the other. And from here, I'm just going to bring the knees down to the floor, sit back on those heels and lean back to give those quads a stretch out. And all we're going to do here is, if you can, you're going to rest this elbow down and reach over like so. You can keep on your hand if you need to, but preferably getting that elbow down, reaching over this side, swoop it around, and exactly the same on the other side. Hold for about 5 or 10 seconds, and again just round it over and across to the other side. Same here again, this can get uncomfortable, this position, so give those legs some rest if you need to. We're going to do a few more on each side. And final ones here. And if you bring it forward, we're going to come back into this child's pose. And we're just going to walk our hands over to one side, stretching out the lats. Did this one on Tuesday. And then walking back across to the other side like so. Walk it across. And back. One more time on each side. And back. And I'm going to bring it into one knee. So I'll show you from side on first, but I will show you front ways as well. What we're going to do is arch and tuck, like so. So you can see I'm on that one knee, my hips are just arching backwards and tucking forwards. Just going to go for that movement for a little while first. Keep that going. Our side is face on now. So arching and tucking. You should feel a stretch down here when you tuck the hips upwards. That is your hip flexor, so hip flexor stretch. So feeling that tuck and that stretch there. Hold it, big tuck up. We're going to take the same side, arm goes over into a reach, like so. And then bring it down. We're just going to simply swap sides, arch and tucking again on this side. And then hold that tuck, keep it squeezed, feel that initial stretch, and then the arm goes over. Bring it down to the knees. We're going to take the knees nice and wide, like so. And first of all, we're just going to reach through. And then you're going to reach up, like so. So we've got a big wide stance on the knees, so we're stretching out those hips. Whilst going for this movement here, arm goes through, and then arm comes up, like so. You're going to do 2 more on this side. And then we'll swap it over. Two more on this side. And all we're going to do is take one leg out to the side, like so. I'm just going to rock backwards, loosen off the hip here, stretching out that groin, rocking back and forth, like so. Keep that going, but what we're looking to make sure is we're not rounding that back as we rock back and forth. We're still keeping this back nice and flat and under control rather than sinking too far backwards and arching, rounding, sorry. Let's keep that rock back going. And then we'll swap sides. Same on the other side. So we'll bring it down onto our bums. Just going to finish off with big lean forward as we stretch out those hamstrings here, reaching for the toes. Legs stay dead straight to the floor. Doesn't matter about reaching the toes. It's all about keeping those legs flat to the floor, feeling that stretch. And then lie back. We're going to finish off with rocking those knees side to side just to loosen up a little bit. and rest there, guys. Well done, really good. I hope you enjoyed that mobility flow. And hopefully you'll join me tomorrow for Functional Friday, which we're going to be working on the Turkish get-up, which should be a bit of fun. What you're going to need is a cup of water or a bottle of water, but I'll post about that on my story. Have a good day, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow.